What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Anthony and Dina, and we are talking about episode 4 of A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Y'all, these episodes are getting so good. They're getting so good. I was hyped with this episode.
Yes.
I was like, just, we had some good moments. But I'm gonna start this off by saying this. I don't like to see Egg in his official capacity as a Targaryen because he seems so diminished and so small and so not him. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we've had this bright, courageous, outspoken young kid for the first 3 episodes. And then from the moment he walks into the dungeon in his Targaryen garb, first of all, he looks out of place because you see Targaryens, you're used to silver hair. He has no hair. It looks the outfit almost looks like it's too big for him. It just he doesn't feel like Egg, and I don't like it.
hmm I thought he looked cute, but I do agree that he's so filled with sadness and fear that he didn't really have when he was freer.
Yeah.
And that's very sad.
He
That's,
really seems like he does not like being a Targaryen.
uh-uh.
He
I
he
mean, why
looked like
would he
he was
though? Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
Oh no. Well, he looked like he was restrained.
Mm.
Like he's chained now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but I'll tell you that opening scene, the two of them, I'm not gonna lie, it was breaking me.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
him the way he was just trying to explain and thinking like not wanting to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just hear and see the pain in both their faces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even, reading the book, I had sort of the same feeling.
Mm-hmm.
It was very hard, very tough for them to have this conversation.
Yeah, I haven't
'Cause they
gotten that
had
far
such
in
a
the book yet.
they had such a good relationship,
Yeah.
and it's like now it's not.
But you know, the other thing about it is it's so strange because if you really think about the conversation and what they're having, and when Egg says to him, he was like, I didn't mean to lie. And if you really think back, he didn't. He
He
never
didn't.
said that he was the stable boy. That
He
was
never
Dunk's assumption. He just
exactly.
never corrected him
He never corrected him. Yeah.
because all he was trying to do was he was trying to get to the tourney. Like he said,
He's a
Daron
child.
was supposed to be the knight. He was supposed to fight in the list. He was supposed to squire for Daron. But what did he say? Daron is a shit knight and he's a drunk.
And a
He didn't
drink.
want to go to the list. He just thought that we would hide at the end until the tourney was over. Egg was just trying to get to the tourney. He's trying to be a squire. And, you know, when Dunk is sitting there kind of being mean to him, like, I understand Dunk is upset, but you were the one who made assumptions.
Yeah.
You know, he was
Mhm.
like, well, Daron was the one who told me you were the stable boy. Well, technically speaking, neither did Egg.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the books, you get Dunk's internal thoughts, and other than him thinking himself over again, my head is as thick as a castle wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he started piecing little bits together. Like he was like, I should have known.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because
It's like
even when he said something simple like he was like, I've never heard of a Prince Egg. He was like, it's short for Aegon. You know, Dunk had to sit there and be like, well, duh.
yeah. But you know what's funny too about like when he told him, that he didn't mean, you know, to lie or whatever, and Dunk was just like, um, basically that he I forget how he phrased it, but he phrased it where he was basically like, you did what you did because you wanted a certain outcome, basically, and so you lied because you knew you weren't gonna get that outcome
Mm,
without, basically
yeah.
lying. And I just thought about how, we talk about how Dunk is kind of simple in a lot of ways, but he also what he has an understanding of how some people operate
Mm-hmm.
because he
Yeah.
understands that it's a formal line, it's omission. He
Mm-hmm.
understands that, and the way he talks to him, and I even though he's mad at him, I feel like he was also trying to like teach him a lesson,
Yeah.
and like
Mhm.
he's never stopped trying to be that person to Egg in this scene. And even though he's so mad at him, but you could tell it was breaking his heart to be even mad at this boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And but
'Cause
he,
I think what he said was, if you didn't think it was wrong, you wouldn't have lied.
you wouldn't have lied. Yeah, that's what it was. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
Yeah.
he tells him to wipe his tears. So yeah,
yeah,
you're right. He's still trying to teach him.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you still got to be strong.
You
Yeah.
gotta, yeah, you can't be crying. You messed up, so we just gonna move on from here. And I'm gonna die, but it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I might get my head lopped off, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah. But I
Uh,
mean, I kind of feel like Dunk probably also, like you said, Dina, compared to everybody else, he seems like a simple person. But one thing about Dunk that I've noticed, he's very observant when it comes to people and their honor and
yeah,
how people behave. Like he really pays attention to that. And I think in that scene, even though he is angry, he does understand that Egg meant no harm. Just like he says to Prince
right.
Baylor later, he's like, okay, the boy meant no harm. I understand that now. But also at the same time, it's kind of like you gotta think that Dunk is wondering, like, how bad are these Targaryens that you would lie about being a stable boy
Right.
rather than say that you are a Targaryen, that you are
It's-
sitting there
yeah,
wishing and yelling for your brother to be killed during an entertainment.
Mm.
How bad can things be for you to go to that extreme? You know? So
But Baylor also tells him one need not do harm, even if
right.
you don't
Not
mean
mean
it.
to do harm for
yeah,
harm to happen.
for
Yeah.
harm to be done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause even when they do go in front of Baylor, the way that Egg is, he's so formal. Even when he's talking to his uncle, and his uncle was like, he said, yeah, when he saw Aerion hurting the girl, he should have come to me. And he was like, but sir, there was no time. Where is the little boy who would have been like, there was no time? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's just he's so restrained and he's so formal, and it's so weird to see him like that. It's kind of like he's a caged dragon in a
Right.
sense. You
Yes.
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
He's
It's like,
back, and he's also back to being a cupbearer, because I'm sure he is his
Yeah.
cupbearer.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Which
Which,
was one of those things that you clearly know that Dunk has never seen, because when he tells him to pour Dunk some wine, Dunk is like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, you're telling him to do this? Like,
mm-hmm,
ain't no servants about? Like, what are you doing?" But it's just like how we talked about in with Arya and Tywin.
yeah,
You learn things by being a cupbearer because you're in the room with the people making the decisions. So it's a
mm-hmm.
very important role. Even Rhaenyra, remember Rhaenyra
Right,
actually was the
Hmm.
cupbearer too.
mm-hmm,
So it's like one of those. But for him, he probably didn't realize like that is a position of like, this is where you need to be when you
yeah,
learning.
yeah. And why would he? Because he's been on the road this whole time. He's never grown up in the castles or
Mhm.
around, the higher born. So he
Yeah,
wouldn't have any reason to know that. But I think also for him to see that, it probably struck him like, oh, okay, so he's a prince, but he's still like, one thing that he always that Egg talks about is the fact that he's small for his age. He gets picked on because he's small, and in this um even in this exchange with Prince Baelor, like Prince Baelor, one thing about him, he seems to be one of the better Targaryens. He's never disrespectful. He never really talks down to Egg, but he does admonish him in a
yeah.
way to let him know, look, what you did had serious consequences. You may not have meant harm, but now this
Look what
man is in
you-
trouble, you know? And to add on to that, Dunk has also been painted as a kidnapper because Daron, once his father found him in the inn, basically said, oh, I don't know where Egg is. Some big robber took him, not knowing that his brother was actually with the guy he saw in the inn. So you just complicated things a little bit more by
yeah,
not being upfront about who you were, you
Even
know?
and even if what had happened in the last episode had not happened, and Makor had found Daron, he would have said the same
He
thing,
would have said the same
and
thing.
Duncan would still be in the same situation,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
whether or not he hit Aerion.
Yeah.
He would still be possibly up for getting his head lopped off
Yeah.
And it
for
would have been
kidnapping.
worse because
Hmm.
Egg would have been with him walking around and they would have walked up on him with Egg. That's just proof, all the proof they needed, you
Yeah,
know?
because obviously they don't pay attention to context clues because it's not like he's been like, had Egg cuffed or, bonded or
Right.
whatever. I mean, Egg has been running around, being his squire, sitting on top of his head at the list, cheering with him, eating with him. So, but they wouldn't have paid attention to that. They would have just looked at it like they would have been trying to save face because, oh, you're a Targaryen and you ran away. Oh, we can't tell people that because then
Right.
people are going to wonder why would a prince of the realm run away from his family? Oh, we can't bring that kind of scrutiny on the Targaryens. People are already at this point kind of sort of jaded with them. They don't have the dragons, and some of them, like Aerion, are just basically walking around strutting and trying to use his name to make him seem important. It's just like they wouldn't have paid attention. They would have been like, "Oh yeah, we've been seeing him running around very freely with this man." But oh, if you say he kidnapped him, then we're gonna believe he kidnapped him.
Mm-hmm. No
Really,
questions asked.
really.
Which is crazy because, as we find out later, Daron still gets punished. So what's the point of all the other stuff if you should have just told the truth? I
Yeah.
lost him or he went away.
But I think part of the reason why Daron was probably punished as well is because of the fact that, okay, if you had just showed your ass up at the list like you were supposed to, none of this would have happened. But you know, I made a comment the other day, and it was that these Targaryens are an interesting bunch, because one thing you learn about them, there are no like really good or really bad, or they're not all one thing. Like they are a mixed bag.
Yeah.
You have these brothers who are from the same parents, with Aerion, Daron, and Egg, all totally different. Daron, I can kind of understand why he may be the way he is, because if he's a seer, if he has the sight, he ain't trying to have those visions.
Yeah.
So he's
That would
I
doing
don't
it.
explain
blame him.
him self-medicating too.
Right.
Yeah. I don't blame
Exactly.
him.
And he probably feels like also he has this burden. He's the firstborn son, you know, of his dad's, and it just might be a little too much pressure for him. I don't know. Aerion is the second son, and I don't know what's with these second sons in this Targaryen family. They tend to have some issues. And then,
You can't
we
forget
know
we haven't seen Eamon. He's not here.
we haven't, but I mean, we've heard
Yeah.
enough. We've heard like one little description of his character. He's so useless that they were going
Useless.
to ship him off to the Citadel. So we know he's not violent in the way that Aerion is.
Hmm.
And then you have Egg, who is the sweetest. Like, yeah, it's just I I just feel like Daron is one of those people. Like, he may not be completely good, but obviously he's protective of his baby brother. I mean, he went so far as to shave Egg's head so that they could hide, and that could have been, yes, to save his skin, but also for his brother. You hear about how cruel Aerion has been to him. He's like, yeah, when I was a little kid, he used to come into my room every night and put his knife between my legs and say that maybe one day he'll make me a girl so he can marry me. Excuse me, So I don't know. I guess, yeah, Daron, he got punished probably for running off in the first place. But now you have all of this drama going on, and it's so interesting because when we first meet the brothers Baylor and Micah, I was like, Micah must be the mean brother, the brother I'm not gonna like. I can't really say that I don't like him because he just seems to be so fed up with everything, and that's his personality. It's not like he's mean on purpose. It's not like even with the excuse me, even with the first episode when we meet him, he was like, you know, I forgot what happened. Oh, they were finding out that his sons were missing. He was like, fuck me. And Baylor was like, don't cuss the game master. He was like, I'm not cussing him out. I said, fuck me, not fuck him. You know? It's
He's
like,
looking at his son. He's looking at his sons like they're just I just don't get it. You know? I
listen,
just don't get it.
the
He's
way
like he's just done. He's
he
done.
is. He's looking at Aerion. Well, before we even get to that part, we got when Dunk goes to talk to Baylor and they're having a conversation about what he did and the consequences. You know, one of the things that Dunk keeps saying is, you know, I was just protecting the innocent. That's what good knights are supposed to do. Isn't that what you would have done? And Baylor is like, yeah, but I'm a prince of the realm. Like,
I got power,
I
boo.
I can do that kind of thing. You touch the blood of the dragon. That's a whole different thing, you know. But he seems to be trying to help Dunk out because again, this is a man who I feel like is just and fair. You saw that from their first interaction. So he's like, so how well can you fight? And you wonder why he's asking the question. And then in the next scene, you see what happens is Dunk asks for a trial by combat. And the way Baylor kind of nods his head very subtly is like, okay, he suggested that because
Mm-hmm.
he figured Aerion was not going to want to fight Dunk
Nope.
one on one. I
Nope.
was like, okay, that's smart. Then Aerion opens up and he was like, okay, well, if he has the right to declare trial by combat, I want a trial by 7. And you see the three Baylor and the other guys,
Lord Ashford and
Ashford.
the other
yes,
guy.
they're
Ashford.
sitting there like, oh shit. And Makar is so clueless. He's like, what the fuck is a trial by 7?
Shit. He's so bothered by everybody.
Well, also, how is it that your son knows what this is, but you don't? But you know what? I feel like also Makar is probably a more peaceful brother. Arion seems like he is like he's testing everything. He's trying everything. I don't know, he's got anger, he's arrogant, narcissist, whatever. He gotta put all his shit out there. And his dad was
Yeah.
looking at him like, what is this?
I kind of get like that feeling of like how like Damon and Viserys is kind of the thinker and kind of the okay, let's think this through thing. And Damon's like, no, let's go kick ass. Let's just go
Mm-hmm.
do it. I feel like Makar is that person. Like, send me to battle. Don't be giving me this book learning stuff. I don't care nothing about these
Mm,
rules from back in the day and none. I don't want to learn none of that stuff. Give me my sword and let's go do what we got to do. And that's
mm-hmm.
why he looked at his son and he's like, so you just not gonna fight this? Go on
Right.
and kill him. What you doing? And
Right.
he's like, because in his
He's like,
mind,
you
he
just
just would have went and fought and been
yeah,
done with it.
Yeah.
yeah.
But he look at
And
his son like, I know you ain't. I know you ain't about to
He
yeah.
was
sit
like,
And
are
here.
you punking out? Really?
Are you fucking out? What you doing?
You hiding behind a 6,000 year old rule brought
Yeah,
over by somebody else? What
that
is
ain't
it?
even
yeah,
us.
You scared?
yeah,
You scared? And Arion is like,
And he's like, no, I'm just scared. Liar.
no. He
yeah,
said, but he did wrong to Daron too. So he needs to answer for both of his crimes.
Mm.
yep. That was the
And what?
only reason why he was able to ask for that trial by
Mhm.
7. If it wasn't for Deron.
He knew
Right.
he didn't want to get kicked in the face again.
And when he's sitting there cracking those nuts and just being irritating, you can see Makar's like, why is this my child?
Why?
Why? And then as soon as they explain what the rules are to Dunk and that he's going to have to find 6 other men to fight for him, when Makar walked off and he grabbed he grabbed there and he was like, come here. I was like, He about to go spank him. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
But that when they had that conversation and they were telling Dunk, yeah, trial by seven, he's like, what is that? Y'all want to explain it to me? And Baylor looked so pained because you could tell Baylor had that figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as for trial by combat, he's not gonna want to fight you.
Right. Not after
Because yeah, you've seen what Aerion can do. We know he's good on a horse and we know he fights dirty. You don't know nothing about Sir Duncan because obviously when him and Sir Arlen were serving the houses, y'all weren't paying him any attention.
Mm-hmm.
So he could easily come in and whoop your behind.
I mean, he already did. He already know what he can do. He
Right.
already know.
So
He
Baylor
felt them.
was like, okay, so we'll do this. He can, and he said it. He said, okay, so he can ask for a trial by combat unless you want to drop the charges, then we can do that. We good. And you know that's what Baylor was hoping would happen.
Mm-hmm.
Dunk gets to save face and walk away. The Targaryens get to save face, kind of, sort of. But then, of course, Aerion is so we just gonna let this stand? We just gonna let this be a challenge to Targaryen honor. His father was like, "Don't talk to me about honor. I heard what you did to that horse yesterday." you know, just
And a random girl who
and
wasn't hurting nobody. But then the other thing is, like, this kid is talking about, oh, what he did to Daron, but they know he didn't kidnap that boy. So what is you even bringing Daron up for? Like, just any old excuse to be a punk. It just irks my nerves.
Yeah.
The most weak and just horrible people are always the most scared, talk all this, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes.
And they just are scared. Oh, just.
I mean, he
I
was
was
giving good
thinking,
face though. He was giving good face, like he was just confident or whatever. But I don't know. I feel like Aerion was probably shaking in his boots.
Well,
I,
he
I,
think the silver cloaks or the white cloaks are gonna save him.
yeah, I feel like if Maycor had have been there the whole time, I don't think any of this would have happened.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have tortured the puppet people. Was he there when he killed the horse? I don't think he was
No,
there
because
for
when
that.
he looked up
He would
there,
have.
he wasn't in the chair.
Yeah, he had
He
already left to go look for
Yeah,
Daron the
I,
egg.
I have a feeling he wouldn't do any of this stuff if Maycor was around. I, I I go back and forth about that, but the way Maycor treats him, I don't think he would have done most of this stuff if he was there.
I mean, I
Just
feel like
just
you're
to,
right.
just to not have to deal with that, you know.
No, because I almost feel like the way Makar treats him is because he acts that way.
Well, he does it when he's not around. He's like any other bully. The bullies
Yeah.
don't do the bullying when dad is around because dad bullies them.
Yeah.
Mm,
You know?
that's a good point. Because when Dunk asked was his dad dead and or something, and he was like no, and he was like, do you know your dad or something? No, he asked him, do you know your dad? And he's like, no, not really.
Yeah.
So when he asked Egg that, so he probably don't spend no real time with them,
Yeah.
and
And
he
that's
clearly
what I,
don't know.
yeah.
He clearly don't know what they learning because he didn't know his son knew about the 6,000-year-old rule that I'm sure a maester probably taught him.
Could
You
be.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Or he could, I mean, because again, we don't really know that much about Aerion, but he may be one of those Targaryens that, okay, I'm gonna go sit and read and I'm gonna learn some stuff. He could be because obviously your older brother, should anything happen, he is obviously not fit to rule. That much is certain. He kind of resembles Aegon in that way. Aegon from House of the Dragon. Because
Mhm.
Aegon didn't want to rule either. He was
But
like,
like
yeah,
they're
give it to
so
Aemon. I don't want
but they're
it.
like 3 or 4, 5 Targaryens away from the throne, so they're not worried about being king or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have to worry about that.
You think so, but I mean, this Aegon ends up being king, and he's how far down the line?
I mean,
So
but
like 13 or
that's based on the
14.
stuff that happens later. But
yeah,
at the moment, like, is Prince Andrew really think
Yeah,
he's going to be
they
king?
don't see it that way.
You know what I'm saying? He's like, you're looking over there, you got your uncle, his sons, and then your dad. So that's four people
Yeah.
that all have to die for you to become king.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like any of that is going to happen.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arion's going to be an ass because he don't have anything better to do.
Right.
And they're going to run around and be a drunkard because no one expects him to be king
Mm-hmm.
because his dad is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then when your cousins start having kids and they get married, that
It's gonna
bumps
go
you
to them.
further down the
Yeah.
Right.
line.
That's
you
true.
know,
Right.
so they don't have to worry. So Egg, I can run off and be a squire. What else am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Or be like Aemon? Sure, send me to the citadel and be a
Right.
maester.
Well, that's the reason why Prince Harry was like deuces with his wife
Yeah.
and got on out of there because he's so far down the line at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
why am I dealing with this royal crap when I don't have to?
Yeah.
I don't blame him.
I really don't. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I think Prince Arian is one of those people where he probably has an out for every situation. And that
Right.
was probably one of those outs that he had.
Mm.
It was like, oh, isn't this convenient? Yeah.
Yeah,
Trial by
because what do
seven.
they say? It's a trial by seven, so it's like seven warriors for each side. Whoever wins, that's who the quote unquote the gods have determined is right. So if Aryan's side wins, that means that Dunk was guilty of the crimes he was he was accused of. He most likely will lose his hands and his feet, but knowing Aryan, he's gonna try to kill him. Okay,
Yeah.
let's just be honest. But if Dunk's side wins, then he's, cleared of all charges. The only problem is he has to have six other people. And as he says in this meeting, he was like, I don't know six other people. Like, I don't really know anybody here. So then here come the Fossways, because Raymond has been watching the horses while Dunk has been locked up. And then he takes him to his tent so he can feed him and they can try to strategize. He's trying to help his friend out. And Stefan, his cousin, comes in, the more arrogant cousin. But Stefan, at first, I feel like he was sincere. Like, oh, yeah, you know what? Fuck them Targaryens. I'm on your side. I'm going to go get my friends and we're going to help. So I'm feeling good about all of this at first. Okay. I'm like, okay, Dunk got some good people. And then here comes Egg. Here comes Daron. And, you know, when he and Daron have the conversation, because Daron is like, look, I was just trying to save my own neck. I wasn't really trying to blame you. I don't even think he knew that Dunk actually went to the tourneys and that his brother found Dunk. Like, that's who he was walking around as Squire. I think Daron probably just called out the name because he remembers seeing the guy at the end and he was like, oh, okay, I could just blame it on him.
He could be anywhere by now.
He could be anywhere by now. You don't think he's going to be at the same tourney with your brother and complicate things more. So at least he does feel bad about that.
Well, you would think that Duncan wouldn't like attack him and almost kill him, but then
He said,
Duncan's
look,
like,
they
they
can't
can't
kill me
kill me
twice.
twice.
I was like, you know what? I feel you, because if you lied on me and got me into even more trouble, and now you just coming in my tent all nonchalant making jokes, excuse me, sir, what are we doing here? You don't even know me like that, but you about to learn. But I think he pulled back because Egg was like, don't hurt him. So it's like, okay, if Egg is asking, all right, I'm gonna back up. Let me see what this dude got to say. And it's like I said, it's clear Daron may be the only brother that cares about Egg at this point. Because again, we have not met Aemon, so we don't know what that relationship is like. But they're all sitting here trying to help Duncan brainstorm, trying to figure out what he's gonna do. And Daron is basically like, look, they're gonna make me fight, but I don't want no part of this. He was like, I'll look gallant, I'll look good for the first charge, but then if you could just knock me on the head, we're good. I don't have to do
We'll be
anything.
fine.
Make it ring, but not too loud.
Right. But it's like you have Aerion He said, Egg said, my father is gonna fight, and Dunk is like, of course he's gonna fight. Then you have Daron, who obviously does not want to fight. Then you got the three Kings guards that were there. So they pretty much have six. They almost have their seven. We don't know who the seventh one is going to be at this point. Dunk still only has Sir Stefan right now, who has gone off to find his friends so that they can fight on Dunk's side.
Sir Stefan talking, oh, I got your back.
And like I said, I feel like in this moment, he really did, because again, both fossil ways in these episodes have been like, yeah, you know what? We were here long before the Targaryens. We're gonna be here long before they leave. They came over here, they took all our stuff, blah 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 blah. So it's obvious in this episode at that point anyway, he don't like the Targaryens.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he was very sincere about, oh yeah, I'll stand up with you. I'll go fight with you. Let me go find my friends. Then the next morning, when Dunk comes out and he sees Sir Lionel and Sir, who was the other one? Somebody.
It was it's the blind, the one-eyed knight, Riceling,
and Sir
Humphrey,
Rufus.
Sir Humphrey, the one that got it. It wasn't he the one that got his leg messed up by Aerion?
The leg was crushed.
Now you know there's somebody who don't like a Targaryen. You got your leg broken 2 places, and you were like, I can't walk, but if I can sit on a horse, I can fight.
I
was like, okay, I like this. But then when Sir Lionel comes over to Duncan, he's making a joke. He was like, yeah, I knew your ass was trouble when I first met you. And he was like, I'm in debt to you, and to you guys, and also for Sir Stefan for getting you. And Lionel was like, Sir Stevron, who is that? I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. But also like Sir Lionel, because he's like, I'm not gonna pass up. We haven't had one of these in 1,000 years. I'm not gonna pass this up.
Right. He was like, a chance to bloody up the King's Guard and get that pretty little white armor dirty? Nah, I'm in.
I love him so much. There,
you're like, okay, Duncan, he has 5 people so far, and Sir Stefan will be 6. Sir Stefan comes in and he tells Raymond, oh, give me my helm. And Dunk was like, hey, we still need one more person. And Stefan says, I'm afraid you'll need 2. I'm going to fight over there with the accusers. Everybody stopped like, what? And Raymond is like, what do you mean you're going to fight with them? You told Sir Dunk that he could count on you. He was like, yeah, well, the prince made me a lord in order to thwart Sir Dunk. So, okay. I was like, really? That's what we doing? Raymond was like, so you sold your honor for a lordship? He was like, look, I have known people who have sold their honor for much less. Everybody's like, Sir, did you see Sir Lionel's face? Sir Lionel was like, I would kick you right now. They were all so flabbergasted that this man did it. And then he's sitting there looking like, well, y'all wouldn't do this? I mean, his cousin literally spat to the side and pushed him. I was like, what the hell? And the crazy thing is, all of y'all people are looking. Y'all see the Targaryens over there, and they got their people. Who over here on Dunk's side? Egg. So this already should tell you that one of those charges y'all about to fight over is bogus as shit.
Right.
Because the little boy who supposedly got kidnapped, he over here squiring for Sir Dunk.
Yep.
So then Dunk goes to the crowd to try to find his 7th person. And he makes this really beautiful speech, and it's quiet. Everybody's listening to him. He's talking about Sir Arlen and how, he taught me how to be a knight. He taught me how to do everything. But, before we get into that, I do have to ask a question. So after Stefan turns his coat basically and goes over to fight with the Targaryens. Raymond turns around to Sir Duncan. He was like, "Knight me, I'll fight on your side." Mm-hmm. And Dunk pulls his sword and he hesitates. And he was like, "No, I shouldn't do that." And Raymond's like, "Knight me." Now, I've been seeing different things online. Of course, I have not gotten this far in the book, so I don't know the dialogue or what's going to happen. I think I stopped reading right at the point where Egg reveals himself to be who he is. Okay. So the question that I have, when I first watched it, I thought Dunk was hesitating because he knew Sir Raymond was not a good fighter and he didn't want to put him in that position knowing that he could very well be killed. Now, I have seen some other discussion saying that the reason why Dunk hesitated in knighting Sir Raymond is because he's not really a knight.
Not a knight. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think it was a little column A, a little column B is what I was thinking.
So is that the case, Anthony? He's not, Sir Arlen never really did knight him.
I mean, you haven't gotten to this part in the book. It would be a spoiler.
Well, I mean, I'm watching the show, so it doesn't matter now.
In the book, if I remember correctly, it's because he's not a knight.
Okay.
Yep.
That's why.
Okay.
He's not a knight. So he didn't, in good conscience, he couldn't knight him.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I love the fact,
and also put him in harm's way.
Yeah.
For
so it is a little bit of both. Yeah.
It's a lot of not being a knight, in addition to a little bit of,
if he dies, and I just did
if
this.
he dies, and it's on me, and I'm not even a knight, he wasn't.
Yeah.
So that is a part of it.
I was thinking about that when Sir Lionel was like, "Here, I'll do it," and I was like, "Thank God," because he.
But you know what? And I love him for that, because I feel like he noticed the hesitation after he said, "Yeah, well, Raymond is right. You're doomed if he doesn't get knighted and help. Like, yeah, we're still one short, but at least we're not too short. Like, you got to knight him."
Even if he doesn't fight.
The hesitation,
right?
And the kind of the bell or whatever went off. He was just like, "You go ahead, I'll knight him." I was like, you know what? The fact that he didn't make that uncomfortable for Dunk, he didn't give him a knowing glance. He didn't do anything that would make anybody else look at that situation and say, "Oh, he's not really a knight." I think Egg might have figured it out, probably because Egg is familiar with that custom and what that was. Because when Dunk hesitated, Egg's facial expression changed just slightly, but it changed. So I feel like he probably figured out what was going on. But the fact
as far as Lionel, Sir Lionel knows, Duncan is a knight.
You don't
as far as no, he doesn't.
So you think he did that just because the whole hesitation thing, like, I don't want my friend to die. Okay.
Yeah, because from their perspective, he is a squire. Like, he's not. I'm talking about Raymond. So of course Duncan is hesitating. To Lionel, he might be hesitating because he's a squire and he may not think he's good enough yet. And he doesn't want to put him in harm's way. And Lionel's like, "No, go ahead and do it." And then he gets called away. So I don't think Lionel is not thinking that he's not a knight.
You don't think so?
That's why he didn't hesitate. Well, he doesn't think Duncan hesitated because he's not a knight.
Okay.
Because if Lionel had suspected, he would have suspected already.
But see, and that's the thing, because aside from the fact that he may not have been knighted, Duncan acts more like a knight than any of them do.
He does.
And so that's why I was thinking Lionel may have peeped that, oh, maybe he's not a knight, because he's very hesitant about doing this. But I feel like
he's a head knight. and he served under Hedge Knight. So they look at Hedge Knights a little different anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
And the one thing, the difference between Hedge Knights and sellswords is Hedge Knights are very honorable to their word.
Yeah.
They are knights. Like they do the right thing when they're supposed to.
Mm-hmm. Which is the whole problem with this episode is because that's what Dunk did. He protected the
Mm-hmm.
innocent, you know. But
And I said before that is a thing that is a theme for Duncan in this show is he's learning that being a knight, what he thought was the ideal knight or what he thought was what a knight should be is not
mm-hmm,
how it is in real life.
mm-hmm.
They are they can be terrible people. They drink, they're not always doing the honorable thing
They fart in the
because
middle of the crowd when they make it
right.
seem like they're gonna volunteer for you. That made me so mad because I was like, why? Like, what was the purpose of doing that except to just be mean and embarrass Dunk for no reason? Like,
Yeah.
don't you think he's already suffering enough? He's right here trying to find somebody to help him save his life.
Well, they didn't make their poop joke quota, so they had to do something.
I guess.
But I was also wondering because obviously it's not everybody who was at the tourney, so they just it's like the witnesses are all just the lords or the people who are specific family who have
Yeah.
enough land or whatever. It's not just everybody who was in the crowds because I feel like some of those people probably would have came and fought just because they were
Mm-hmm.
so angry about what he did to Sir Humphrey
Yeah.
earlier on. So it's like they're all like people who probably don't want to lose whatever it is they already got, so they ain't about to help him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that. So
Because I mean, even Dunk was thinking that when Sir Stefan was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go get my friends. I'm gonna go get Sir Lionel. Go get." He was like, "But they'll be going against the Dragon House." And Sir Stefan was like, "What Dragon House? They ain't got no dragons." Which is which is why it's even more crazy that you were just talking shit about them 5 minutes ago.
5 minutes
And
ago.
now because the prince is like, "Oh, well, if you come be on my side, I give you a title." Oh, okay. I mean, you're no
Which,
better than a sellsword.
which also shows you he didn't necessarily have a bunch of knights jumping to his side
Yeah,
either.
that's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you
because
was
that was
There are a
mostly
lot of them
his.
it's like they just staying out of it.
Yeah, it's mostly his army, basically his protectors, his
and his
dad.
daddy,
You know,
his
Mm-hmm.
what? It was him, his brother, his daddy, and the three
Three
Kings
Kings
Guard.
guards.
he had to
Mm-hmm.
bribe people. He had to bribe somebody
And
in
and
order
not
to
even
get
bribe.
help.
Your daddy is gonna be there just because that's your daddy.
Well,
Your
no, I just mean
brother,
like for him to try to win, he had to bribe
oh
somebody because
yeah,
people clearly wasn't running to his side, like we said. So it's like, so he knew that he also could be in trouble if he didn't do something.
right. So here it is now. He has his 7 because Sir Stefan is over there with Aerion. Dunk is still one short. He goes to make this speech to the crowd asking, are there no true knights among you? And I was like, nobody stood up, nobody said anything. I was like, oh, y'all really are a bunch of cowards. But then you hear the gates. Doom doom. And everybody's turning to look to see who's coming through the gates. When the Game of Thrones theme song started playing, I
I was
started
like,
crying. I was like, who is this? Nowhere in my brain did I think it was going to be Prince Baelor.
that was my first thought. I was like, it has to be him because he's the only one with enough power to like do this and not feel like the consequences are too high. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause he's not no little Peasley Lord, little,
No. And
And
see,
I was
I
just
I
like,
wasn't paying attention because it was kind of dark when he was coming in, so I didn't see his armor. But then Makor started trailing behind him,
you're
and I
like,
Mm-hmm.
was
oh,
like, darn, he coming to fight for his nephew. And then when he took his helmet off and he was like, I will fight for Sir Dunk. I'm at work watching this on my phone. I started to go, yes, damn it, I can't. I had to calm myself down and remind myself that I was at work because I was ready to scream and cheer.
Yeah.
He's gonna fight for Sir Dunk. His brother's like, the hell you think you're doing?
Fighting for the
He's
innocent.
like, look, sir, what he say? He attacked my son. He was protecting the innocent as all good knights should.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And it's like this guy. Also, I feel like to a certain degree too, he other than him just being a stand-up guy and just like honestly wanting to be an honorable knight, especially after seeing how Dunk was just so determined to be an honorable knight. The other thing, I feel like he's the one who suggested the trial by combat, and I feel like he felt a little not responsibility, but like he felt a little like, ooh, this was my idea, you know,
and it backfired. So
and it backfired.
Yeah,
I
he
want to
probably
lead this
did feel
man
a
who
little
is clearly a
responsible.
good man, you know.
Yeah, and also, you know your nephew is an ass,
right?
I mean,
your brother's kind of grouchy.
You just saw your nephew stick a pole through a horse's chest before he went and attacked this girl, all because you mad because of her puppet play. Like, really? So yeah, I cheered when he came in, but also I have a feeling with apprehension because now you have Sir Raymond and you have Baelor. And I'm sorry, when people volunteer to fight for other people in this world, it don't necessarily work out well for them.
It don't work out. It don't work out.
So now I'm worried.
And Daron's dream should have us all a little scared too.
I'm a
like,
little, yeah.
Let's just hope the dragon is. But see, okay,
we
so
don't know which dragon it is.
He didn't say it was a good one or a bad one. He just said a dragon,
but
he couldn't even tell me if he was the one that killed him or not.
Dragon whose wings were so large it covered the meadow. That's not going to be Aerion. Aerion is not that big. He's not that great.
No.
So I feel like it's either going to be Baelor or it's going to be Makar. Yeah. And he was, what did he say? He said, the dragon was dead. It was on top of you, but you were alive and the dragon was dead. I was like,
he asked him, did I kill him? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't see that much. You know, you realize how inconvenient these visions can be. You only see part of the story, but you don't see the whole story. But I guess
not necessarily. Usually Targaryen visions give you the whole story. It's just figuring out what the story is.
Determination, what if it's the right Aegon or not.
Right. Exactly.
It'll be like Riley on National Treasure. Go to the thing and find the treasure. Why can't it just be that simple? Just go to the thing and find the treasure.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the Valerian, the Targaryen daughter who had the dream, and they were like, "Yep, pack it up, let's go to Dragonstone."
Was it Visenya that did it?
Yeah,
it was one of Aegon's sisters, right?
No, it was
this was earlier.
It was way before that.
When they were on, when
before
they
were
in Old Valyria.
It was before the doom of Valeria.
Yeah.
Right, but I thought it was one of Aegon's.
No, because that came afterwards.
No, that was way later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it was Aegon, but it was I mean, whoever Aegon's father was, it was his sister.
It may have been a couple of generations before that.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. I don't know why it's so confusing because everybody's Aegon and Varys
Aegon 1,
Varys
Aegon 2, Aegon 3. Even Dunk was like, which Aegon, how many Aegons have been king? Four Aegons.
At this point, it'll be it's 4. Well, it ain't 4 yet, but
no, it was 4.
No, it was 4 because this one Egg is number 5.
Yeah, Egg is 5. Yeah,
Egg is 5. Jon Snow is 6.
Jon Snow was 6.
But let me say, Baelor Targaryen, I fucks with him.
Yes.
Makor, like, I understand that's your son. Those are your sons. You gonna stand up for your sons, but clearly he is not happy about having to do so. And I think he's also probably pissed off that Aerion has put him in this position. He probably was like, look, we're gonna come to these boring little tourneys. We're gonna let y'all fight for a few days and then we're going home. Because all of them were saying that, I mean, I think Makor was the one who was like, why are we even here? He said that in the second episode. He was like, we could be doing other things. Why are we here? He don't want to be there. And now you got him fighting. He probably wasn't planning on putting that armor on. He wasn't planning on doing nothing but sitting there and just watching and being bored. And now you got him in armor about to fight because you a dumbass. And you a drunk ass. So I don't know. I still think I think I'm okay. Makar is just kind of one of those where he's just like, I don't hate him. He hasn't given me any reason to hate him. But I don't know. You need to be I don't know. You need to take your sons in hand because obviously you let them run over you.
I mean, he tried to snatch them up. He just can't do
Yeah, how'd that
anything with
work
them.
out for
They're
him?
still Targaryens, though. You know,
Mm,
he can only do so much.
yeah, I guess.
I mean,
And then you
he
have
can only do so
Daron,
much.
who is just obviously Daron just don't want to be there. He's like, look, I just want to drink and not have these dreams.
Yeah, he's
And
troubled.
yeah,
he's
yeah.
he's just trouble. I want to talk about another scene that was kind of tugging on my heartstrings was Steely. I call him Steely Dan,
Oh, yes,
the blacksmith,
yes.
talking about the shield, that whole scene, and you know,
He
it's
brought
not
Dunk
like,
to tears.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
crying. I'm like, wow, it
Yeah,
was deep. And
because
he looked at the
he
shield
has
and
the
he's like,
shield.
it's a falling star, it's a sunset, it's all death. He's like, no, the tree
Summer
is alive.
leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Ah,
then he replaced the shield because he was like, yeah, your old one was thin and cheap, wasn't very good. He was like, this one's a little bit stronger. It's a little bit heavier, but it'll be better for you. It's safer. And then when Dunk is like, how much you want for it? He was like, from you, just the copper. I was like, oh, Dunk done wormed his
Yeah.
way into that man's heart. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna help him out. But also too, he's one of the he's one of the small folk.
it's small
It's a
folk.
small
Yeah.
folk.
He understands like what Dunk did. Like you punched a Targaryen prince in the mouth and kicked him to save one of us. So I think at that point, you would think most of the small folk would be like, okay, he's for us. But of course, like you said, most of the other ones, they're probably scared, whatever.
Yeah.
But the blacksmith, he was like, I see you. I see what you did, you know, and I'm gonna do what I can do to protect you or
Mhm.
to help, to help you protect yourself. And then of course, she's gone, making her way to Dorne because
Why stay around?
right,
Why even bother? You know?
because that wouldn't have been good. But yeah, this episode, when I say so good, but now I'm so worried. We have 2 episodes left in this season. We're about to have a big battle in this next episode. I I'm worried. I'm worried. I don't want Raymond Fossilway to die because one, that's the first real friend that Dunk has had. Like when he came out of the trees, he was like, Dunk, is that you? And they embraced each other. I was like, look, Dunk has a friend. Dunk has someone who is really worried about him and cares about him and is like, okay, you know what? Let me figure out what I can do to help my friend. I mean, from the moment they met, he has been 10 toes down for Dunk. So I want him to survive this. I don't know how that's gonna work because you're about to go and fight against seasoned fighters. You're just a squire, probably.
Well, I
And only person you've probably fought against is Stefan, and we saw how that went in the first episode.
yeah, I would just say there's a reason why no one calls for trial by seven because it turns into something crazy.
I can
Everybody's life
imagine.
on the line,
Yeah,
and the only people who would ever ask for this are knights. And why would you do that to each other? You know what I mean? No accusation is worth the chaos that could result from people, dying like that.
Unless you are a Targaryen and you're attracted to chaos.
You just
Well,
don't care
true,
about nobody else.
but he
Yeah.
didn't care. That's different. I'm saying there's a reason why Makor is like, what the fuck is a trial by seven? No one
Yeah.
knows what it is because no one does it
Yeah.
because it's stupid.
1,000 years since the
Right.
last time.
So the question is, okay, you have the 7 people on the Targaryen side, you have the 7 people on Dunk's side. Is it a fight until everybody from one team is dead? Is it a fight until the other team yields? How does this trial by 7 work?
It's over once if the accused is killed, it's over. If
Okay.
the accuser is killed, it's over. Or if they yield,
Okay.
Yeah,
it's
they have
over.
Okay. And then is this like the rest of the list where if you lose, well, I guess if you're dead, it's not really gonna matter. But for the person who dies, what happens to their
people that
titles,
fought.
their lands? Does it go to the person who won, or does it go to the
This is
person their
this is outside of tourney
okay.
rules.
Okay.
This is not tourney rules.
Okay.
So, but I guess in that case, but will the people who fought with the person who loses, as far as like the ones who ain't in power, will they be murdered because they fought?
No,
Okay.
Okay.
no. I mean, because the whole point is your fate is going to be determined by the gods. So
Mm,
if the accused or accuser yields, it's over.
Okay.
And it's just over because that was the whole point.
okay. Now, if the accused yields, let's say they get into this fight, Sir Duncan decides, okay, you know what? I'm done. I yield. Will they still put him to death, or will they just take
Yes.
they will to put him to death?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you might as well fight to the death if
But
they're gonna kill
but
you
it's
anyway.
it's that I guess it's kind of really not clear because I think in the book they say he could yield and he would just lose a hand and a foot because that's really all Aerion wants.
Which again, you might as
So
well fight to
if
the
he
death.
yields, it's possible Aerion could spare him and just take his hand and foot.
Yeah, you might as well kill him at that point, because what else is Sir Dunk gonna do? Being a knight is all he knows,
Yeah.
So I think he would probably rather be dead than to go through life like that, not being able to help people and to do the things that he wants to do as far as being a knight.
Hmm.
Any chance that Aerion dies in the next episode? I don't want to know, it's because it's spoilery, but I just
Hope and pray and dream.
it is
We just have that hope because egg becomes king, so that's hope.
right. Somebody, like, a whole bunch of people got to die for Egg to become
Let's see.
king. Now we don't
One,
know.
two, three,
We don't know at what age he becomes king, but
Right.
well, at least we don't, who haven't read the
5.
books yet, because I haven't gotten that much into the history. But it's like there's
I think
quite a
it's
few
6.
people that have to
Oh,
die, and I mean, technically speaking, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 of them in the trial by 7 right there.
yeah. I think it's six Targaryen princes have to die before he becomes king. But we're not counting Aemon because we know he doesn't die.
Yeah. Okay. So that
But
So
means
he's
he would
not
have
in
to be out
line
of the
for
picture.
succession
King Darren.
anymore.
What is it? King Darren the Great. That's what he's
Darren,
called.
mm-hmm,
Valar,
or
his son.
Baelor, and then Valar.
Oh, Baelor, and then Valar, and then Makar,
Well,
Daron.
you forgot
It's,
Baelor has 2 sons.
I was about to say it's another son for Baylor.
Yeah, Baelor
And
has 2 sons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
So one
Okay.
Baelor, his 2 sons, Makor, then Daron,
5, 6, 7.
Aerion, Aemon. That's 8.
There's 8 people in front. So you got 4 of them already right here. Not that I want Baylor to die. I don't want him to die. And I don't really want Daron to really, I don't want anybody but Aerion to die. And that's just because Aerion's an asshole. Like he is Viserys level asshole, I think. Viserys the second, not the first.
Yeah.
But that would be too much, I feel like, to put in this first season, especially if you're talking about drawing this story. The showrunner is talking about drawing this story out between 10 and 15 seasons. He says he wants to explore the entirety of Dunk and Egg's lives. So you can't make Egg king in the first season and then it's a whole 9 other seasons full of stuff. I mean, you probably could. There's probably enough, but nah, I don't think I want to see that quickly. Yeah. Just Aerion needs to die.
Yeah.
Well, the 3 novellas are probably going to be the 3 seasons. The first 3 seasons are going to be, because that's just how it's going to work out.
So in the third novella, because again, I haven't read that far, do they talk about how Dunk and Egg died? Because I mean, that's not a spoiler. Everybody dies. So it's do they talk about the end of their life in that third novella? Because if that's the case, then that means you have 3
I don't know.
novellas.
I haven't read the third one yet.
Okay.
So
because I was gonna say, if that's the case, that's a lot. That's 3 novellas that you're trying to spread out over 10, 15 years. There's got to be a lot of stuff to happen, which I wouldn't be surprised, because reading Dance of Dragons is kind of like, God damn, that's a lot of stuff that's happening in this little short story. So I guess it's doable, but it just depends on how they end this first season. So I don't know. And then that's just something that he wants to do. No one has said, like, HBO hasn't said, oh yeah, we're gonna give you 10, 15 seasons. I think HBO is gonna see how things go. But again, most of what I've seen online about the show, people are loving it. Like absolutely loving it. Some people are loving it more than they love the original show, because they're like, it's so, like, you still have some of the intrigue, you still have some of the tension, the drama, the Targaryens and all that other stuff, but it's not as in your face as Game of Thrones was. You know what I'm saying? And then also it's just, yeah, it's more about the people and the character development, and just, it's, what was it somebody said? They said it's a show about love, honor, and friendship in a time when we really need to see that, you know. And they're doing such a good job of it. And just, I love this show. I love the casting. I love the characters, and I'm just worried.
Yeah. Well, because Game of Thrones drew us in. Ned's a good guy. And what happened to Ned? Huh? What happened to Ned? I remember watching it, and I'm watching it with Evelyn, and I'm like, oh, Ned, he's so great. And like, he's gonna find out he's got all the stuff and blah blah blah. And Evelyn was like, girl, don't get attached. I'm
The
like, what
sad
you
thing,
mean?
the sad thing, everybody who, even people who I knew that read the book, they were like, yeah, they're not gonna kill Sean Bean.
Sean
They're just
Bean.
not. They're
I
not.
was
And then
like, oh
everyone's like,
no, he's
oh,
the
they
death
did it.
guy that's
They
gonna kill
actually
him.
did it.
They did it.
Yeah, and it's so funny, because I'm more active now on Threads than I am on other social media, just because it seems to be a more peaceful social media. Like, everybody over there is like really positive for the most part. It's very friendly. And I love the way the algorithm just kind of feeds into it. But so many people are watching Game of Thrones now for the very first time. So reading their posts is so interesting, because based on some of the things they say, they may not be talking about it an episode specifically, but based on their commentary, you can guess where they are in the season. So it's like, you have somebody who's like, oh, Ned just found out, blah, blah, blah. He about to get. I was like, oh.
You're about to get all right.
Right, right. But
Every time I
it's
watch
been
the
very
series,
interesting because you do have some people who are watching A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, and somebody was like, "How did I not know about Game of Thrones before this?" I'm like, "Yeah, how did you not know? Like
it was only the most popular show for
it
like
was
8 years.
the biggest show on TV ever for
Ever.
about 10 years." But there are some people who have absolutely no. They were like, "I didn't even know the show existed. I didn't know about." Yeah. So it's
But
so interesting seeing the discourse now, like people talking about it, people getting into it, people really falling in love with it. And yeah, the heartbreak that we know is about to come. So I'm just kind of like, even though I know A Night of the Seven Kingdoms is Game of Thrones, but it's not Game of Thrones, it's a little bit pulled back. I still am kind of, I'm watching it like this, like waiting for the shoe to drop.
At the end of the day, it's still Game of
It's still
Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
It's still Game of
So
Thrones.
we
but
know somebody gonna die.
I do wonder, like, since they're talking about all these seasons and they want to do all this 15-year plan and all this, are they gonna keep the same tone where it is kind of like funny-ish or kind of
I
lighter than a
I think
regular Game of
so.
Thrones?
I think so. I think they can. I think they've sold it that way,
Mm-hmm.
and I think remember, as long as you have either and Targaryen and or dragons,
Yeah,
they're going to be behind the show.
yeah,
So if they can keep a Targaryen in the show, egg, and if they promise Targaryens all
yeah,
the way to the end, they'll go for it.
yeah. But also, it would be really nice if they go for that long to kind of watch Dexter grow as Aegon. That would be an interesting thing to do.
Oh, little Dex.
Yeah.
You know, um,
Yeah,
mm,
because it could be like Arya and Bran and how they all grew up on the show and
yeah,
got grown, and it was hard to watch them be grown.
yeah. But then also, I really do want to see how he is as king, like how
Yeah,
the experiences that he's going through right now, how that shapes him to be a king.
yeah.
And then, I don't know much about his rule. I do know a little bit about how he about his death and Duncan's death, and I do know that they stayed together their entire lives. Like Duncan was very loyal to Egg, and Egg was very loyal to him. So I would
Because we
like to
learned
see
we
that.
learned in the Game of Thrones that Sir Duncan the Tall was lower commander of the Kingsguard. We
Mm-hmm.
learned that in um, Game of
Game of
Thrones.
Thrones, yeah. And
Yeah,
I think I also read somewhere that when Aegon has his first son, he
Duncan.
Duncan.
names him Duncan the Small after Dunk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So yeah, so I would like to see that continue.
That would be the third volume.
Yeah,
That would have to be like the third, whatever, 3 seasons
yeah. Or
if
how
they
they do
because
it, yeah.
however they do it. Because I think if, at the end, if the novellas are basically Egg as a kid, and
Okay.
then if they're going to continue it, the next section would have to be him as a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Yeah.
then the third series would have to be him as an adult becoming king.
Mm-hmm. Or
So
whenever he becomes king, because again, I don't know if he becomes king as a child, if he becomes king as a teenager, if he makes it all the way to an adult before he's king.
Mhm.
So, you know, I just know that Maester Aemon, when it came time for him to be king, he was like, nope, I'm going to the wall. And I never found out how old he was when he went to the wall. So, you know, he's like, yeah, little brother, I'm going to let you have this. I'm going this way. Which it was probably obvious at that point because if they're already talking about him going
Sending
to the
him off.
Citadel now, it's probably obvious that he either doesn't have it in him to be king or he is just kind of, they can see like, mm-mm, this ain't gonna work out for him.
Well, if I remember correctly, he says it to John. He was like, there were people, he didn't want another war to be fought and people die to make
Mhm.
him king, and he didn't even want to be king. That's why he went to the wall
Okay. Okay.
because
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
swears off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, because that whole time is just fighting, probably
Hmm.
all the
It would have
Black
been
Fire
another like fire
rebellion,
rebellion.
and yeah,
Number 500. Yeah.
they don't quit. You can't make me legitimate and think I'm gonna back down. I don't quit. Black
And
Fire,
that was a
fool.
Bracken who got up and did the fart in the stands too, wasn't it?
Yes, yes.
Bracken the Brute.
Bracken the Brute. They called him out. I remember that name. I put you on my list like Arya, son. You fighting? That's what you're doing? Okay. Bracken the Brute. I got you. In my
I
sleep.
thought I thought the Brackens were in the Riverlands. What are they doing all the way down in the Reach?
In the Reach.
I mean,
But didn't or what I feel like I guess well, I don't know. Did people travel like that far to that weren't like,
I guess so. I
could
mean,
be.
yeah, because there was a Tully there, so
Yeah.
oh yeah, the Tully was in the tourney.
Yeah.
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 Ugh,
Yeah.
fish eater. Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, think about it. Again, if you don't have really anything else to do, you're not in line to be, the Lord of whatever.
Right.
Just sure, it's a tournament. Yeah, I'll ride 20 days to go be in a tournament and
Oh
possibly
my
get killed.
God, the 20 days is
For
wild.
glory. Isn't that what Sir Stephen said? For glory.
Or give me a lordship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I
because I
mean,
think
think about
I
it.
think it was like 30 days from Winterfell to King's Landing.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
So
tracks
imagine how long it
down
would
the
take to get
King's
to the
Road.
Reach. Yeah.
In
It's like,
a rickety carriage, no comfort, no feather bed, no. I mean, sure you're gonna stay in the inn, but just no.
That's why I want to know what happened in the lamb cart with Egg when he was like, I don't want to talk about
he had to be. Oh, because that was something else. Because then Duncan said it's only been 4 nights, four
it. Yeah,
days
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
since he left the inn.
Yeah.
So that means Egg spent like a whole day in the
In the
cart.
in the cart.
Probably so. Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's one day too long.
Listen.
He wanted them adventures though, didn't he?
He
I,
said, "I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about it. I
Talk
don't want to
yeah.
talk
about it.
about it."
But I mean, but he was happy. You know, when they were in the last episode, when he and Dunk was sitting there and they were fixing their, what did someone call it? They call it the egg and Dunk mixed sandwich or something like
Oh,
that.
The
Yeah,
McDunkin,
the breakfast sandwiches, and he
which
just kind of
actually
looked around
looked kind of
at
fire when it was
at
cooking.
all the tents and everything. He was like, I think I could be quite happy here. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, so this boy don't want to be a Targaryen. He don't want to rule. He just wants to live a simple life. Look, let's just go to the tournament. Let's go wherever. I will.
I'll
He's
stay with you.
right.
It just
He
reminded me, I don't know why it reminded me of that thing in the Avengers when Captain America's telling the cop, go do this, do this, do this. And the guy's like, who the hell are you? And he's just like, oh, the aliens came and dropped some shit, and then Captain America was like, pow, pow, pow. And he's like, oh, go do the thing. It
right.
reminded me of that because he's telling the egg that they're gonna have salt beef, and he's like, I don't even think so. I was like basically like, I'm not eating that shit. And then he worked his ass and he was like, what is the best salt beef I ever he changed his whole like, man, I ain't never been this hungry. This salt beef is good.
Right.
But at
Right.
first he had that love, like, I ain't eating that. Like, salt beef.
I know. Your hoity toity was coming out right then and there.
Oh my gosh. I love them so much.
I know.
And I would be down for
I can't wait
15
for the
years.
cookbook, the Dunkin' Egg cookbook, so I can make that
Oh,
sandwich.
Oh, you know what?
right.
They probably will do one. They
But
As
always
long as
do.
it doesn't have hard salt beef in there, just you don't need to have that.
Mm-mm.
I want them goose eggs. I'm about to go get one of these geese that's off by my job that be honking at everybody and go get one of them goose
Those
eggs.
eggs were big.
They be trying to fight you though.
Yeah, they do.
Yes,
Yes,
they do.
they
Oh,
do. We had some nesting geese at
uh-huh.
the building I used to work at that was next door to the building Anthony was working at. And literally anytime you walk past that nest, they were
I
attacked.
used to I used to tell students at the bus lane, don't go over there. Don't go over there. One of them, he went over there and that geese turned around, put them wings out. I was
Okay.
like, boy, you better run.
Yeah.
Better
Listen,
run.
they don't
While
play.
one of ours was nesting, the dude was hiding between cars in the parking lot, waiting on people to go try to talk to mess with her. And as soon as somebody would come outside, he would, you better get away from her. And I'm just
Mm.
like, dude, we're just trying to walk to our car. What are you doing?
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
crazy thing was they made their nest right next to the side exit door.
Mm-hmm.
So literally, like it was a problem for a long
It was a
time.
problem. We had a counselor because the parking is back there. He wouldn't let the counselor get in her car. She was like, "Oh my God, I can't leave." And he was standing by the car looking at it. I had to walk over and distract him while she ran around the car and
That's crazy.
jumped in
And
the
imagine
passenger side.
people was able to catch them and steal their eggs. Like how, Sway? Because they out here killing people.
I don't
I don't know.
know.
I do not know. I do
Look,
not know.
look, they probably killed the geese back then too. You know, they out there for the tourney. They need some fresh meat. They yeah.
Yeah, he did say,
And
"No,
like
no, no, not the geese. I want the eggs. The
like
eggs." I was
just
like,
like yeah, because he was about to yell. So, maybe just like chicken. I don't know.
Yeah.
But did we
It
miss
was.
anything?
I feel like we.
I think we covered everything.
I think well. So like small stuff like the blacksmith did tell him that the girl was headed back to Dorne, which what you would assume she would be safe because while Aerion is causing mayhem, she
Right.
probably has time to get down there. Hopefully, because Dorne is
Yeah.
way past King's Land, like it's way down south. So hopefully she can get there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and Targaryens don't mess with Dorne too much.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Nobody
yeah.
Yeah,
messes with
they're
Dorne too
they
much.
pretty much sovereign. They're like, look, you stay up there, we stay down here, we gonna leave it. But they be straight marrying them though. Back all these Dornish women getting married off.
Hmm.
Yeah. Won't be that one though. But okay, so we have two episodes left.
Oh,
And then we're gonna be without Duncan Egg. But I did hear that they are already working on season two, and they don't plan on having long hiatuses in between seasons for
they
this
really
particular
should,
show.
because Dexter will be 85 years old if they do that.
But also, like Anthony said, you don't have dragons, so you don't you nothing in this show is CGI.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You don't everything is practical.
And you just have a couple of sets.
Yeah, and
They
they're only
only have a
30
couple
minute
of sets.
episodes. So yeah,
This shouldn't
so
take much.
yeah. So I would say we should get a new season next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can really see them turning the sets they use for this, turning this around for season two.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just a couple of a couple of buildings and a field.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
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 Would they, I guess, but would they head back down to King's Landing though? Is the question. Are they gonna be back in King's Landing for that though?
Do you want to know the answer?
I mean, at some point they gotta
No,
get back to King's Landing, but will it be that early? I guess is the
no,
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
no. No.
No, that's good. No was good. That was good. So
All
yes,
right.
then they can reuse the set they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not because the second season will be the Soren Sword. So they're going to be working for some other lord doing some stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys have any final thoughts?
Mm, this is a good episode.
I just want to say, not a spoiler because we do know that Egg does become king at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So saying that they're working for some other lord in the second season is not really a spoiler.
Yeah. No.
So,
It's not.
Egg becomes king, and Duncan becomes Knight of the King, Commander of the
The
King's
Commander
Guard.
King's
So,
Guard, but we may have a ways to go before that happens. So
yeah, we may
yeah,
have, or we may not. But
yeah, well, yeah, but at least we get to see Dunk and Ed kind of repair their relationship because
Yeah.
right now it is
mhm.
kind of fractured. But I think also like the fact that Ed came to the tent and Dunk is like, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "I'm your squire. You're gonna need somebody to squire for you."
And he was out there the next morning, like, did he even sleep?
Oh, and that's the
Baby
other
boy.
thing. Egg was the one who got the champions for Dunk's side
Mhm.
because Sir Stephen obviously didn't. And
Yeah.
Sir Lionel was like, "Who is that?" And Dunk
Oh no,
said,
no
"Well, how are
sprung.
y'all here?" He said,
That's
"Your
funny.
boy came and got us." Okay.
And also at this point, everybody knows who Egg is now.
Mhm.
So a
So
prince of
when the
Targaryen is
prince
come.
comes and says, "I need you to come fight for him,"
Yeah.
Uh, might as well.
right?
Yeah. I love me
Especially
some final.
especially technically speaking, they aren't going against House Targaryen because a Targaryen prince came and said, "Hey, I need you to come fight for
That's
Sir
true.
John."
That is true.
So technically speaking, they are following the rules. They're still, loyal to the house. It's just which side of the house. It's like the reds, I mean the greens and the
The greens
blacks.
and the blacks.
You know.
Especially once Daddy Baylor come up out of there.
Mayquan was like, "Excuse me, what you doing?" I'm gonna go fight over here with them.
He's like, have you lost your senses?
Y'all can have this over there. Baylor was
uh
like, "You
I
know
just feel
what?"
like I'm gonna be crying. I just feel like because it's Game of Thrones. They gonna do something that's gonna hurt my heart, and I'm gonna be very disappointed. I just feel it.
Which is crazy considering we've only known these characters literally for what, 3 hours?
I know.
That's it.
By the time
Not
this is
even.
done,
Not even three, is it? Is
yeah.
it
No,
three?
by the time the season is done, it'll be
Oh,
just over 3 hours. But yeah, I
yeah,
mean we've spent what, two and a half hours maybe with these
yeah.
characters.
I I I just need Sir Stephen to die
Die.
and Raymond to become
Lord
Lord
Fosterway.
Fossaway.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
That's what
Let's
all
go.
I need to happen. Everything else
Right.
is just whatever.
yeah.
But that's what I need to happen.
Because
Okay,
he's
so
probably the only other male in the line of succession behind him, so he gonna hear everything he get.
Yeah. Was that
And I
Lionel
think,
that said maybe they should have been apples? They wouldn't be so dangerous.
oh my God,
that
And I thought Raymond
was
was about to jump that man.
no, that was
hilarious.
Daron who said it.
It was
Yeah,
yeah, it
Daryl
was there.
said.
That
And
was
then
He
hilarious.
said, yeah, maybe we, as far as the Targaryens, because he was talking about the fact that Aerion attacked the girl because she did the puppet show about the dragon being slain. And like you said, Anthony, he looks at himself as the dragon. Egg even says he was like, he thinks he's a dragon in human form. So when they slew the dragon, he took that
Yeah,
personally.
personally, which is
And there
crazy to me.
and
He ain't
Daron
got
was
no
yeah.
like,
powers.
he was like, maybe we should have been apples, and then it would have been.
And Raymond was like, wait a second, what you say?
Raymond is scrappy though. I give him props
He
for a little
is,
squire.
I
yeah,
said, knight him, give him a sword and a
Right.
horse.
Because think
yeah,
Come
about
on,
it. All the
let's go.
squires we pretty much have seen have been kind of like mild mannered. Like Pod was mild mannered before he became like it's
yeah,
so like Raymond is like, what's good?
right,
Let's go.
right. He was like, "Oh, you need another night because my bitch ass cousin." Okay, knight me,
Knight me.
king me, yeah,
He was willing to die because uh, Raymond.
because he has a sense of honor and he
Hmm.
has a sense of loyalty. Like
Yep.
you don't give somebody your word and then you turn around and break that word for what? For a title?
Yep.
A title that, let's say y'all lose, that title's coming right back.
Basically, because he gonna renege on it.
Right.
They ain't
Why
signed
would
no
you believe the
papers.
man anyway?
So yeah, I want to see Sir Stefan kind of get what's coming to him. I want to see Aerion get what's coming to him, and I just want everybody on our side to make it out alive. I know that's asking a lot, Game of Thrones, but it's out there. So 2 episodes left. I guess we'll just prepare for possible heartbreak in the next episode. But for now, that is our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.